Hey guys, it's Lisa back with another video for you for Lisa Wise Designs, and today we're finishing up our series on the triple pocket folio. If you've loved what you're seeing here making this project and you love this paper, which what's not to love, it is so pretty, you can go below this video and click on the link to go to my Etsy shop and pick up the physical kit that's got everything that you've seen that I have used, except of course the tools, or you can pick up the tutorial only and use your own products. So where did we leave off? We made the envelopes last time here. Love this. You know, thank you for indulging me and letting me change the orientation here, but look how cool that turns out. Even though with this red now it kind of looks like a barn, which is okay, because there's an old truck there in the background. Love that. It's gonna go in this one. And in previous videos, we did our 4 photo inserts. That's going to go in the sides of these. So we'll put it all together here at the end. So let's keep going. Trying to make sure I get my stuff in order here. Yeah. Okay. We're going to keep working now, and we're going to work on the tag. So I am on page 21, right in the center here where it says 4x8 tags. So I'm going to grab a couple of those tags, and I'm going to grab my distress ink. I am using Vintage Photo, and I'm just going to kind of go around the edges, and you can see what that does, the difference that it makes between one that is inked versus one that's not. We're not going to have to trim this down. Our project pocket is big enough. Well, we don't have to do that. Usually we would. I've got most of my paper cut so that I don't make a 3-hour video with you, even though some of you might like that. Sometimes it's fun to watch. Okay. I know some of the people that I like to watch on YouTube, sometimes it's fun to have an extra long video. So I'm going to grab one of those, and I'm going to grab this 4x4 photo crops from Simple Stories. If you don't have one of these, if you're using your own product, all you have to do is grab you an index card or cut something that's 4 inches wide. You just need something 4 inches wide to help you trim out some of these stickers that we're going to be using, like ephemera. Or another thing that I have used in the past is I have taken some plastic off of products that came on things that I have purchased and cut through that so I could actually see through it. But I'm going to be using that. This is what we're going to be working on here and here. Move this other one kind of out of the way. I got a lot of mine cut. So we're going to be putting a 4x4 picture up here at the top. Isn't that cute of my mom and daddy? They were cold, but that was a good day. And we don't have a whole lot of paper left over. So this is that big yellow flower paper. So I'm flipping that over on the back. So it's got a little bit of words on it, but it's very plain. So that's going to help when we start layering. And then I used a branding strip at the top and just kind of cut that down to 4 inches by 1/2 inch. And this time I'm going to butt it up all against each other. It's all going to be flat. It's not going to be one on top of each other. And that's the look that we're going to have. So by the time we're finishing this project, and if I don't cut anything else, this is literally what I have left of that paper pack. Small pieces and a couple of pieces that's about 6 inches. And this, I would say, is about 8 inches, but it's not a whole 12. But that's absolutely it. So I'm not mad about it. If we have all that left, I think we have done it well. All right, let me open my glue. Okay. And when I'm working on a tag, even if I've got it all planned out and cut, I start at the bottom. As long as I don't cover up the hole at the top, it really doesn't matter to me kind of where this paper ends. You know, it could end anywhere from 1 inch away, 1/2 inch away, 1/4 inch away from that top. But the bottom, it does make a difference in your look if you're trying to cover the whole tag. So That's why I'm starting at the bottom. All right, and I'm going to put this butterfly strip here. And then this cute picture of my mom and dad, the first time. Is this their first time in Europe? Well, they went to Africa. They went to the Holy Land, so that doesn't count. That's not Europe. So they have been overseas, just not Europe. So this is what I'm talking about here. See, it could have landed right below this hole reinforcement, or right where it is now. As long as it's not covering that hole, it looks great. So cute. Oopsie. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do the other side, and then we're going to embellish. So on this side, I'm going to use these 2x2 cut aparts. So as you can tell on this one, depending on how long your photo is, you can leave a border here and here, up there, or you can go to the very bottom again, depending on what you're looking for and basically how big your photo is. So I'm going to lay this one out at the bottom and see what it looks like. I'm choosing a couple different, little cut aparts and a couple in a different little strip. That's my plaid to kind of bring that color in here. Yeah, I like that. So I'm just going to butt these up again and start at the bottom. And tags are a fun, quick way to add more color to your project, to add a couple more pictures to your project, and use up some of this paper that we have. Like I said, I'm not going to be mad if that's all that we've got left. I'm not going to feel bad, and I'm not going to feel like I have to keep every scrap of that to use later. Okay, I'm a little bit over on this one. So I'm going to take that up before it dries real well. Do a better job lining this up here. Or maybe I cut it crooked. Maybe that's it, yeah. I think it's crooked at the top a little bit because I did line up the bottoms. So I have a little bit showing on my tag. So I'm just going to kind of help camouflage that by putting some more ink on it to make sure the edges don't show. So now it's not quite so noticeable. And then this little strip here, using that plaid. So after we finally used all those cut aparts, I could cut into that last strip of plaid that we had left. That's so cute. That's me on the black sand beach in Vik, V-I-K, Iceland. Love that. And this is my mom and dad in Venice. Love. Okay, so let's start doing... It's very early in the morning, sorry. I guess I haven't talked to anybody yet except my puppy dog. Let's start working on this one. So I put this over here so you can kind of see where I'm going with it. Another way to use these, I almost lost it. I'm glad they put their logo here so you can see it. Made it a little crystal so you can find it on your desk. To use these is to help cut apart stickers or ephemera or your pictures, or even pattern paper if you're trying to get a certain focal point. So what I'm going to do, like I said, is I'm looking at these stickers like they're ephemera pieces. They just happen to have sticky on them, so you have to deal with them a little differently. So I want this to be 4 inches across to go from one side to the other on this 4x8 tag. So I'm just going to choose by taking a look through this of where I want this to land. So the way I did this one, and see this says family tree. It might be a little hard to see in the camera, but there's a little plaque here that says family tree. And I didn't want to cut that off, so I'm just going to go to the very end of the F here. And then I'm going to get a little bit of this tree. And all I'm trying to do is draw a pencil line on the right and the left to where I want to end this sticker. Just like that. So that's my 4 inches. Of course, you could do that with a ruler if you wanted to, but this is another great way to use this little product. So now what I'm going to do, you could cut through your whole sticker sheet, or you could do what I like to do, just kind of pull this up gently in the middle where I'm starting. Use my fingers and help kind of pull this up. And I'm going to cut a little bit extra off since I have a it was difficult to get to that angle. So here's where I'm trying to cut right here, this line. So I cut a little extra off so I can go back and trim it to the right length. Then I'm just gonna pull this up. Okay, I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna sacrifice a little bit of my sticker here because I'm not gonna use that part anyway. So then now we can trim the rest of it out. So I'm gonna put this to the side. Now I'm gonna go to where I had drawn my pencil line and trim. And I don't like, you know, how this is sticking out, so I'm gonna do my own trimming up, just kind of make it look like it's part of the sticker, kind of round that off like so. I'm going to go over here and go on this other line that I drew, just like that. And now I've got a nice piece of what I'm going to call ephemera. Then I'm going to hit it with inks on the edges as best I can, because there's lots of little places here. And that'll kind of help me figure out too if I need to do any trimming up, if there's any wonky corners. Cute. Alright, so then we'll go here and just going to kind of center this to the space. Try to get it straight. And place it down. Okay, one side I got pretty good. The other side there's a little hangover, which I'd rather it be a little long than be short. So I just turn it over where I can see it well. And just trim right along that edge. And hit it again with some ink. It'll help hide that. Isn't that cute? Isn't that a cute way to use stickers? Because there's a lot of times we get these huge long stickers, and if we're doing a smaller project, we have no idea how to use it. So I'm not afraid to cut my stuff up and see how it adds a lot of color and a lot of depth. And I really like, you know, that it's like a mom and a dad here. You don't have to use it that way, but I thought that was kind of cute. So to finish this up, I'm gonna add a little washi to the top. So a little washi goes a long way in a project. So that is one reason, I need a little more than that, why we kind of divided up the washi between students is, you know, I've been to lots of classes and they give you this whole roll of washi tape, which is great for the project, but then if it doesn't match anything else, you feel kind of bad, like what am I going to use this for? So anyway, you should have almost just enough. And then if you want to put something here, like on this one I put Ancestry. But I'm going to kind of leave that there. I really like that. I think that is cute. So while we're here, I'm going to go ahead and grab about 8 inches of black ribbon. It's a 1/2 inch wide ribbon. This is actually called seam binding. This is like my favorite ribbon of late. They have so many colors, and you can hand dye it if you want to with sprays and ink pads. And I just like the way it looks. I like the way it wrinkles up. Yes. So you can wet it and scrunch it and put it in a rubber band overnight and let it dry, and it gets all scrunchy. I really like that. All right, so there's the one side. So let's kind of flip this over. And then I wouldn't do a whole lot, but like on this one, I put a butterfly. Let's see what we've got here that might help bring in or pull some color in. So this is kind of a non-color. It's got that olive green and that yellow. It's got a little here, but I'd like to pull some of that red in if I could. See, I have this Love My Family here. That might be okay. Let's look at the other one. We Are Family, the Story of Us. This love, it's got lots of red. Let's try it. Let's try this on for size here. Oh yeah, that helps bring that red in. We can put it here. We can put it here. There's a lot of stuff we can cover up here because it's all the same looking formations. So I think I'm gonna try it right here. Go right to where the hole starts. So I need to start on that side. And just kind of let it land where it does on the left. Right there. Like that. That's cute. I love that. So see, sometimes you just need the sticker that's the right dimensions and the right color. Doesn't necessarily have to say exactly the right thing. Okay, I like that. So there's that one. So I'm going to put it with my travel one, which is right there. Okay, there's my sample. Oh, speaking of samples, I've got 2 or 3 small folios that are Christmas that are pre-made, which means I already did all the work for you. You just put your photos on. They're in my Etsy shop because when I teach a class 3 or 4 times, I don't need that many books, but I think somebody might really want them. Somebody might need those. Okay, here's the next one we're going to do. I'm gonna grab this, put this inside. So I'm gonna start, like I say, at the bottom. So this time, and this one I had that really pretty plaid, but I'm gonna start with that plain white. See, it's got a tiny bit of detail in there. It's on the back of this paper. And I did ink the edges of all of these. I just did that off camera. Save a little time. So on this one, I'm gonna come up just so you can see the difference here, about 1/8 of an inch or so off the bottom. So there's a little border like I did on here. Then I'm gonna put my 4x4 picture, but it's not quite wide enough. It's not quite 4 inches wide when I printed it, so that's okay. I'm gonna use some washi here to help cover, you know, up that there's some missing, or you could, I mean, that it's not the right dimension, or that you could put some more pattern paper behind it and mat it again. But this is what I have decided to do. And then to take up a little bit of this room, I'm going to use this red strip. It's kind of hard to see what it was, but it was those flowers. But the red doesn't exactly match what she has on. So, don't think it matters that much. Or maybe I'll just put her right there without the little strippy. Let's see. See, I'm going to be Miss Picky again. If I put her here, do I even need the strip? Or do I need to stop being so peeky? Because if I use the washi tape to hold it down, it's also going to be in that same red here. Okay. Executive decision. I'm just not going to use that. So you can see what this one looks like. And of course there's pictures in your cutting guide. All right, I'm gonna glue her down, use some washing, have to zhuzh this up. And I hope this was helpful too, seeing samples with blank paper and then seeing some with actual pictures in it to kind of help visualize, or if it was distracting because it's not exactly like the sample in some cases. So you'll have to decide that for yourself. Alright, and this goes here, which I probably should put some glue behind, but I forgot already. Don't want to cover much of her up, like so. Okay, so on this one, I cut out from the blue flower and it says remembering, so I don't want to cut off most of that wording if I can keep from it. So back to the stickers. I'm going to put this one up. Oh, I didn't do the back side. That's okay. I'll come back to it. We're still at 4 inches wide. And we're using this one where it says remembering is where I'm going to cut off. Just going to make sure I have most of remembering in there, but cut some of the banner that it's sitting on, and that way I get most of the blue flower. So I'm just drawing a line on the right side of where I want to cut, and on the left, just going making sure I only cut or mark the sticker I'm using. So this one, we can take the whole sticker off because we're cutting mostly all of the sticker. Another way you could do this is by taking the sticker off first. You could put it on a piece of wax paper, then do what we're doing and cut it on the wax paper. Lots of different ways you can do this. Okay. All right, little sticky pieces. I tore my sticker a tiny bit, but I'm going to use some ink and put it back together and nobody will know. Looking at the time here, I have got a very full week going out of town in a little while. I want to make sure I get it all done. I thought when my child had her own family, grown up, out of the house, that I would have all this spare time on my hands, and well, I guess I kind of do. I guess that's kind of the reason why I started doing some of this, right? So it's funny. We always fill our time somehow. So I'm going to kind of line this up on the left as best I can with my cut line. All right, and then just let it fall where it may on the right, and then trim it up if I need to, or add some ink if I need to. Okay, it didn't fall over the line there, so just add a little extra there. But see how that really helps bring some color into the picture and use those weird long stickers up. All right, so see how this one has a heart? I love that here for her if I haven't used all my hearts. I used a ton of them. I have this one. Let's see what that would look like here. These are like really funky shaped hearts if you have this kit. I really like them, but they're like really fat. Instead of rounded, they're like really long, or wide, I guess I should say. Okay, I'm going to use one of these aqua blue ones for this. Fold in half, put it through. So let me know too if you enjoy making what I call folios. It doesn't have chipboard in it, and it's got all these little elements in it that you can break it down by, like the envelopes, the inserts, the tags. So it's kind of like taking chunks of it at a time. Or if you like the bigger projects, like making the albums, those are just a little harder to break down in chunks of time, but they hold so many pictures. Okay, love that. So flip this over. All right, so this is going to be a 4x5. It's a 4x6 that I trimmed a little off, so it will fit here. And then a 2x2, but I used 2 of those to make it 2x4. So this is going to be a little short, so I'm going to move it up a little so that I have the border at the top, and then use a little washi there. I could have used my little strip that I cut off earlier. Let's see what that looks like. I'll leave a little border at the bottom. Here's the strip I didn't use. I wonder what it will look like here. Nah, clashes too much. Put this up here. Grab some more washi. I'm almost done with mine of the flowers. Yeah, see, this is going to be the end, which I'm glad. I'm glad I'm using it up. Even though it's pretty, I don't want to have a lot of leftovers. So then I'm going to be looking for a long, thin sentiment. This is We Are Family. I like that one. Ancestry. I didn't use that one. Families Forever. I'm going to use the Families Forever, I think. I like that it's small and delicate here. And then I'm going to place it half over that washi. Or you could put it all over, but I think I'm going to do it like this. And then do it at the top of the photo. All right, there we go. I love it. I just love tags. Okay, so put that one with my ancestry / current photos. So now we're going to be moving on to make the front pocket insert. So these are super duper easy, but you can get lots of photos on them. So you're going to use this yellow paper. Let me grab everything here. This is what we're going to be doing. Got most of my stuff cut here. So we had not cut into this as of now. This yellow paper with like little flowers on it, and it has this big tree on the back. It's kind of hard to use that really big image. Move this out of the way. So you got your dimensions of how to cut your yellow paper, and this is what it will look like on one side. So you can put 4x4 photos, and you flip it over this way, then you can put a full 4x6 photos here, which I think is really cool. 4x5, sorry, I had to trim it down just a little bit to make that work, and then use 3x4 cards. I thought that sounded wrong. Like, what? Really? Okay, so we're gonna work on this one first. I already have mine trimmed out. So this will be super duper easy, especially since we already cut out the cut aparts at the very beginning of this project. I love this one that says family is everything. So you should just be able to not have to think about it too much. The way it's already sized, where you can just put down a 4x4 at the bottom, 4x4 at the top, and it should be almost perfectly sized for that. So after this, we'll make our little double mini tags that's going to go on the front of our album. That's going to add just a little bit of extra decoration. Like so. And then oh, looks like I changed it up a little bit. And then we will put a couple of these 3x4 cards on the back of the folio sleeve and be done. We'll just kind of do a final flip through. So this is a good place to use those photo corners like shown here, or you could use everything plain. You could add a couple of stickers. So I'm gonna flip this back over. See if there's something that'll kind of fit here in the corner, because I do have some dead space there I could use. I do have one that says history here, an ancestry, but that's not really an ancestry one here. I like this one that says this is us. But I do want, oh, I like this family memories. It's just not the right shape. This is us. No. Move it along. Our story. No, you know, I just really don't, if I have one, it'd be thin and go this way, like Generations of Love. That's pretty, because this one is Generations. Okay, I like that one, and it's small, so it won't detract. So let's do that here. And then we could layer it on top of another one, but I don't love that. I want it to be subtle here. I don't want to take away from the photo. I think I'm going to leave this one alone. But you can see how I did it here, putting the history here. On this one, using those photo corners to help zhuzh that one up. But I think I'm going to leave this one the way it is. So this is going to go with my current pictures here. All right, put that one up. I'm just going to do the same thing on this one. I've got an extra piece here. Turn my flowers over so they're not growing upside down. This is another piece I really like that says Family Ties. And I try not to put all the pictures at the top with the cut aparts at the bottom. And I try to mix it up a little. And then my 4x4s. try to give it some interest here. So since this is a selfie and our face takes up most of the room, it makes it a little difficult to put stickers here so that you don't cover anything up. But you can see what I did on this one. I used one that says Families Forever. I'm going to use one of those teeny tiny hearts. How that helped give a little bit of color and interest to this. Let's see, I don't want to put one here and like put it right on my mama's chin, but maybe just the heart would be cute, and put it up here instead, like that, to help pull the two pieces of paper together like one. Okay, I like that. Let's flip this over this way. So see, I wasn't afraid to use this big pattern paper on the back and cover most of it up. It just kind of gets lost underneath here, which is what I wanted it to do. Just kind of fade into the background once you put that here. So I wasn't sure if I wanted to use Timeless or Gather Together here, just because this is so dark and this picture's dark. I think I'll just use the Gather. Let's see if I have anything else to choose from. One has got that little cameo looking thing. One has got this one. I could use that and add another picture, but I'm gonna go with the Gather Together. Such a beautiful picture of the Trevi Fountain. Okay, and on this one, to add some more details here, I use those photo corners. And I did not use, I haven't used these yet, so let's just take a look what it would look like here and help bring this blue over. So first I like to start on the corners like opposite of each other, and sometimes that's where I stop and just use two. And sometimes I like to use all four, but I think that looks good. I like this one here. That's another way to stretch them too. Let's see if there's something here. Forever Together, Family Tree, Think of You, Our Heritage Ancestors. There's not a lot of red in there, so I don't want to use that red one. There's a lot of blue. We Are Family. See, I like this Photos and Memories, but there's no red on this. Okay. Let's see. This one says History, which I think that would be cool. And since I don't have a photo corner here, that might be cool to put this at the top of both of those photos, kind of help pull this together. If it wasn't crooked. Okay, I'm gonna hit it with a little ink on the edge and hope for the best because I don't want to rip my photo. Maybe just hold it like this, then it's straight. Alright, so there's that one. So now let's move on to the small, what did I call this? The folded tags. Okay, so now I'm at the middle of page 22. And you're going to need 4 tags to make 2 completed ones. And the tags are 2 1/8 wide by 4 1/4 long. I'm starting in the middle of 22. I've got 2 tags that are just inked. There's nothing been done to them. And we're going to cut and score 2 of them. So here is my sample. I was like, what did I do? Okay, here I go, sorry. So you're gonna cut 1 inch off the bottom of your tag here. Now, okay, so you're gonna, I was like, I don't know what I have done. Okay, here's the sample. Here's what we need to do. You take 1 inch off the bottom of the tag, all right? And so we're gonna do that one on this one. because we need 2 of everything. So I'm just going to chop an inch off, okay, on that one. So now those are the same. And on this one, you need to, instead of chop an inch off, you need to come in an inch and fold it. So since I have a little bone folder thing here on my trimmer, I'm just gonna come over an inch and do that instead of getting out my scoreboard. All right, so now I've got a score line there that's an inch in. So I'm gonna fold that. So why I have this with my brain got foggy. I'll go ahead and make sure I ink that up real well. Both sides of this real well. There we go. Now I finally got it. So on this side that we're folding to the inside, we need to put some tape on it. I've got 2 pieces of tape on that one. Of course, you can always glue this, but when I'm constructing something, it's just easier for me to use tape. Usually I use the tape because I need the strength and so it's not so messy, but on this one it would not matter. Okay, this is what I get for filming so early in the morning. I'm like, what? Haven't had any caffeine at all. So proud of myself. So what we're going to do is we're going to take that tag that's been cut down and place it over the longer one like this, and then we have tape here on the bottom. I'm just going to fold it over, and basically we're making a longer tag that has, you know, 2 holes, 1 on each end, but we're going to fold it and decorate it, and it will look like this. It'll have double ribbons on it. It's really cool. I don't think I've seen this anywhere else. I mean, there's nothing new in crafting. I'm sure someone's done this, but I did this for a May class a couple years ago, and just I really liked the look of it. I wanted to do it one more time. Thought that was fun. Okay. Just fold it over. It's just got a really long flap on it. We could have done a 1/2 of an inch, but anyway, this just kind of worked out for the dimensions. So I'm going to put the part that is glued together is going to be my back. So I'm going to work with them like this. So let's work with them one at a time. So this is the way this one will look. I might choose some different paper, but we're still going to use some of those cut aparts. And then we're going to put a small photo here and some little paper. So you can add some smaller photos. What I like to do is print mine smaller and then use those photo crops to crop them down, which is what I have done here. So I decided to go with the plaid for the front since I haven't used a ton of this plaid and I really liked it. So on my other sample here, we had red, so let me come in just a little bit. That means I'm going to have to work way up here so you can see me. Just like so. Love this. Put this over here where you can kind of look and see what I'm doing. All right. So on the inside, I'm going to put my photo here. Yeah, I'm going to do it more toward the bottom and then use some washi. And then I decided to go with these little butterflies here. So just dig through your scraps, see what pieces you have left over, and then just start chopping them up. If you have flowers or butterflies, whatever you got that will fit here. And all the dimensions, of course, are in your cutting guide. We're in the middle of 23. And then I'm just going to go ahead and fold it this way. Pull this down with my glue. So just like this. So you can make a determination how you want your orientation on this to be, but the way I'm looking at mine, It really doesn't matter because I'm looking at it like this. But a lot of times, you know, you flip it this way, so it just depends on how you want to see that. All right, so let's go back to the front. Now that we've got everything glued on there, we know we got our orientation right, so we can open them up. Let's go to the front. It's gonna be this. Let's go back to our stickers. So let's see how we can add something here. So what I did here is I took this sticker, and I really wanted that butterfly. So I centered the butterfly, and then I just kind of cut around it. So this is 2 inches wide. So we can use our 2 inch by 2 inch as a guide here on our photo crops. And I'm just gonna kind of center that butterfly. All right. And that means I'll cut off a little bit of this little clock on the left. And I don't know what that is over here on the right. It looks like a bottle cap kind of. And then pull it up from the right side. And then trim it off a little past my pencil mark. Okay, just so that I can get it out of there. Now I can go back and make sure I have it exactly on the line. Okay, so sacrifice a little bit of that sticker. But I'd rather do that than not use the stickers at all. And then go into storage to have to decide one day, am I keeping this? Am I not keeping it when I'm doing my spring cleaning? A little bit of that pencil mark off there. Okay. All right, just centering this before I press it down. Make sure it's in the right spot. Bone folder. So you can see the difference on that green paper with some red stripes in it versus the plaid paper, which I love both. Then we can do the same thing here, but I just left it blank because it is the back. So I'm going to flip this open. And let's see. Yep, I'm almost done with this washi because this was my favorite, obviously, here with the flower. So might as well use it up. Use a little bit here. Didn't mean to rip it that short, but I did, so I'm not going to waste it. I put it right here. It's going to look fine. It's fine. All right, so on this one, I went all the way across and put a heart. So let's see, do I have any hearts left? I have some blue ones. And then I have this one that looks like wood grain. Okay, here's a red one. That'll help bring out the red and the butterfly down here. And just kind of push this over there in the center. I like that. Okay. And then the back. So isn't this fun? Just do some of these little things. Let's see what kind of ribbons I've got here. What's left? All right. So in the front, I decided to do this little rust color. See, I love kits. It's so difficult to find them. Was one reason I decided to offer kits as often as I could. Then I'm going to do the olive in the back because, say you get, what did you get, like 5 different colors of ribbon, exactly what you needed to make the project, instead of having to go buy 5 spools of ribbon. You know, that can be very costly. So since I did it and then divvied it up over so many students, you know, it's so much easier that way. So I hope you've enjoyed it. Like I said, have enjoyed making it. I think I really love doing these at an angle. Projects that have, any project that has tags in it. Because I love ribbons. And I love making little items. Okay, because they're so much cute. They're so cuter. They're so cuter. Okay, so this, I'm going to get out one of my gold paper clips. It's just a standard size one. It was a little over 1 inch. I'm just going to clip it together for now, but this is going to go on the front. So I'm going to put my sample away and put this one. This one went with my travel one, right? Yeah, because I had a travel picture in it. Okay, we've got this other one, making sure we've got the back here. All right, so I'm going to be using this yellow paper with the flowers. And all of these pieces of paper I'm using, like I said, of course, you can find the dimensions in your cutting guide, but they are 2 by 2.5, this pattern paper. And I really liked pairing this pattern paper with the silhouettes on it with the silhouette washi. Thought that made it really cool. So I'm gonna go ahead and put my 2 by 2 photo. Like I said, on these little ones, I printed them at wallet size, and then that way it was kind of the right, not the right dimensions yet, but then I could trim it down and crop it where it was more the right dimension of what I was looking for. Here on the back. Okay, so I'm going to start back here on the beginning again. Hold this with my glue so you can see. So, since I'm doing this theme of using these silhouettes, I went back over here. So most of this is already kind of cut out, but I wanted to get this, most of the silhouette. And I'm not going to be able to get the bird's head, but by the time I trim it, you're not even going to realize that was a bird on there. You see how it is here? Kind of looks like leaves. You don't even realize that that was a bird. Okay. Alrighty. So let me know if you've enjoyed using, well, I got a sticker on my finger, stickers this way, like ephemera pieces, or taking a look at your ephemera in a different way. All right, just like this. So if you didn't know that was a bird, you'd never know now. Okay, trim here, and trim all the way down like so. Just like that. And then I've got this little open spot here, which that's going to look cute because then the pattern paper will show through. Okay. Just need to get one side lined up. There we go. Cute. Love. Cute. All right. Open this up. I already have this on here, so let's grab the washi. Well, who knew the hardest thing about using this would be finding the end every time? Here we go. Well, I shouldn't need any little pieces of washi for a while because I have a lot stuck on the edge of my desk here. That's cute. See how it helps tie this into here? And then what I did is I used this key as like a little hook on the bottom of this one. So I don't want to cover up our heads, but I'm going to try and see if we can do that one again. I really loved these keys. See this key here? Looks like it has ribbon coming out of it here. So what I did is I put it at the bottom. So on this one, since I don't want to cover my picture, I'm going to put it kind of in the center of that washi, like so, and then just trim off the edges. The stickers that are stuck in my scissors. Yep, I'm going to have to clean my tools when I'm done for sure. Trim that one more time. There we go. Now press that into place real well. So cute. So cute. All right. So we've done this piece, this, not doing much to the back, so let's add our ribbon. Our last two ribbons, so I'm using this goldish color, wheat gold, not sure, on the front, and then black in the back. So I really like having the double ribbons. I think that that's just a fun look and really adds something to the front of this project. It needed something to add it, give it that last little splash of color. Okay, pull this through. Come on, you can do it, you can do it. Okay. I'm just cutting these at angles. And roughing them up a little bit. Alright. Okay, love it. Knocked over my glue. That's always nice. Okay, where's that last paper clip? Clippy. Okay, so for the grand finale here, we're going to add something to help bring some of this together here. So this is my sample one, so this is where we're going with it. So I took some of the leftover 3x4 cut aparts, and then I cut a 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 mat out of whatever I had left, which one of them was this yellow or goldish page. Well, this was on the back, and then it had like those little flowers on it, and then this one was, I had a little bit of that plaid left because I did not use, you know, that whole row of cut aparts. Let's do that one here. Alrighty. So let me grab these. Okay. So on this one, see how this kind of pulls in the plaid that we use here? I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, but I want about, you know, 3/4 of an inch to an inch above the line, and the rest of it on the bottom, over to the side, like so. Right here. So I waited till the end to do this just to see what paper I would have left to mat, and hopefully have the same thing left. But if I didn't, do this one on this side. If I didn't, it's okay. I would have used something else to help pull in those colors. But it was more important to use up as much paper as I could on the inside before I got here. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are done. So let's do a walkthrough here and put everything together. And I want to clean up my desk just a little bit because it's making me a little crazy. Okay, so push this one out of the way. So let's put it all together. So this one is going to be the one that I've got like my little travel photos in. So it's a picture of my mom here. I'm going to put her right here. I'm going to grab, and we had these two little things were in your kit if you wanted to write anything on it here, any journaling. So I'm going to use this one back here. Okay. Then I'm going to turn this one over where it's got the red because I've got the blue background. So I want it to live right there. And then this would not matter whichever way you want to put it in, like so. See how cute that looks all layered together? And then, see, I really wanted something, one more piece here to help put it over the top. So that's what we made this for. And I'm going to put the little piece of the paper clip on the front and the big piece on the back because this is going to slide on the front of that pocket and help hold it on like so. So as long as you're not rough with it, it will stay on there and you'll be able to take it on and off and take a look at what's in there. All right, so here was the two pieces that I made for this, the right and the left. So like I said, swoop it in here like this and you won't get caught. And you can put it in there with ease. Taking it out is no problem, but if you're putting it up for someone, put it in the same way on the other side. You might want to show that technique to whoever you're giving this to. Isn't that cute? Look at my little ribbon sticking out. Isn't that cute? Love. So there's that one. All right, and then here's the one that's got my heritage photos and my current photos. So I'm gonna put this little piece of paper in the back. Here's my envelope. So if you've enjoyed this project, like I said, please give my videos a thumbs up. And if you want to make one just like mine, I still have just a few kits left by the time I'm making this video. And they will be in my Etsy shop. The link is below. And go over and join our Facebook group, Lisa Wise Designs. That link is also below. I would love to see what you do with this project. Okay, I'm going to use this that's got a little bit of blue here to help bring out some more color. It's got some blue and some of that. Oh, isn't this cute? Just love the way it turned out. Put this one here. So I'm sure my mother's going to be watching this, but anyway, happy Mother's Day. I'm probably going to use some of these leftovers, especially I have quite a few stickers, and make a card with that to go with it. I think that would be neat. Really cool. And then swoop it in. Oh, I love how that ribbon sticks out. That is so cute. Okay, guys, I'll be back soon with Christmas in July, and I hope you have a wonderful spring and start of your summer. Bye.